Hello everyone and welcome back to Grand Theft Auto Space. So today I'm actually going to start off with just driving around this new place that they built. After that I'm going to go ahead and go back to Venus, and then I'm going to go to Saturn and Jupiter as well, so we can kind of get an idea of what those look like also. So as far as the base goes, you guys kind of saw me come in here in my last episode. It's just a little hangar right there. It's kind of small to be like where they actually design and build the spaceships, or space shuttles, I should say. I keep saying spaceships, and I feel like I'm, talking about the alien spaceship, and it's like Area 51 over here. But I don't really mean to. It's space shuttle. But here it looks like kind of a dock for them to get containers back and forth from the motherland back over here. And so it looks like that's about it. But obviously a lot of detail they put into that, so that's great to see. Definitely great to see. I did decide, if you guys haven't noticed yet, I did decide to go ahead and add my webcam in this time. I find it more personable, and it's something I've been meaning to do. I just haven't yet done it until today, obviously. So I was going to go ahead and go this way because I saw that this was another route. It looks like it's a little windy up here. From what that sign said back there, so see what happens. Let's see. Oh man. All right, so it's satellite dishes, obviously to communicate with space shuttles and stuff, and looks like solar panels to run them. Pretty cool. And then a generator just in case. Always beneficial to have. Always beneficial. Man, I love this Insurgent, man. Go through a building with this sucker. Actually reminds me of a SWAT vehicle. What do they call it? There's a SWAT episode. It might not be what they always call them. I don't know. But there's a... I wish I could remember. The mule or something like that, where everybody jumps off and jumps onto the side of it, and then they drive in right before they're about to, take over a house or something, like for drugs or something. I don't know. This is the Fort Zancudo Tower. This is actually kind of this. It looks like it's just the same model that in the last episode we had to go to do the missions. So there is that. Here's the spaceship. I'm never gonna get over that. The space shuttle. Unfortunately, which I hope they fix in the future, is having a staircase up. I would love to be able to actually get in the space shuttle from a staircase down here. If you guys have found one, if you guys have downloaded the mod or whatever, feel free to let me know in the comments and tell me where it's at, because I've kind of driven around. I haven't really walked around too much, but I've driven around to try to find one, and I have not found one as of yet. So that looks like it's about it. So I'm going to go ahead and park right here. It is time for me to get out and get in the space shuttle and be ready to go. Go ahead and do countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Liftoff of mission 41D.
So fast, man. I just gotta, everything just falls so fast. I must be traveling at like 5 million miles per hour or something stupid. All right, so since we are headed to Venus, I need to find out where I'm at the moment. I saw something over here. Was that Mars? So it's going to be the opposite direction. All right, so there is Venus. Now, it is a very, very long trip. So what I'm going to do is see you guys whenever I actually get to orbit around Venus. We there yet? Hey, Venus! Beautiful, beautiful planet. So glad to be here finally. So I am coming in from orbit into hopefully the Venus atmosphere here shortly. For some reason, unlike even previous episode, I have no game sound whenever I come into the space shuttle, and there hasn't been an update, so I really don't know why. I don't have any sound. I'm giving it throttle at the moment, and it's not. And I will hear it even if I pause the game. I'll hear sound, and I will hear sound if I was even back on Earth or doing something else, I hear the sound, except for the space shuttle sound seemed to have stopped working. So I'm not entirely sure what's up with that. But yeah, I was going to mention that the reason I was wanting to come right back to Venus is because last time, for some reason, the quality of the video didn't come out quite like I would have liked it to. And I wasn't entirely sure why. So I'm hoping that this one kind of makes up for it. But here I am coming into the atmosphere of Venus. Oh, I can hear sound. Excellent. All right, so I'm going to kind of do a little outside third-person view so you guys can see the planet in all its beautifulness and how much quality and time that the developers of this mod actually put into this game. Into this mod, I should say. It's incredible. They did a absolutely excellent job at it, and I'm so excited to be able to actually play. It's just awesome. I cannot wait to see what the modding community can actually do with this, because if you can start doing like bases and things like that on other planets and even like try to colonize it, I think it would be super, super cool. Super, super cool. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know if you guys have ever played the game Kerbal Space Program. It's one of my favorites. I suck at the game, but I do try. I'm not a quitter. All right, so here's the ground. I don't even have my... I'm not going to land yet anyway. I've got to find a flatter area. Seems to be pretty good. All right, reverse thrust. And we are down. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and jump out of the shuttle Atlantis and get my my rover out. And I want to drive around for just a little bit. I'm not going to spend a lot of time, but I did not get to spend as much time last time as I would have liked to. So I'm going to go ahead and get my rover out, and I will see you guys on the road. So I am in my rover, driving around. I wish they would add some lights on this thing. I think that would be really cool. But this is one of the vehicles that were included into the DLC pack that came with this particular mod. So they had two vehicles, one of which, well, really three, I guess you could say. They had this one, which is the rover. Then they have the actual space shuttle that you fly in on with the different skins. You have like the Challenger, Atlantis, others, Columbia, I think, and a couple, and I think maybe one or two more. I've got to make sure I stay within sight of my space shuttle, because you'll get lost out here quick. It's happened a couple times, so make sure I keep it in sight over here. But then they also have like an alien spaceship, which is included in the missions. If you guys haven't downloaded this mod, I strongly suggest it, because it is so much fun. You know, the missions, it's very short as far as how the missions go and stuff, but it's not bad. I mean, it's really not. You're fighting aliens and some other stuff, so it's really cool. Really, really cool. Let's see. I think I lost my space shuttle. I was screwed. Oh, no. I think it's back this way. I think it's back this way. I hope it's back this way. Oh, there it is. Oh, okay. So it's actually to my left over here. Okay. Oh, man, I feel so much better. So much better. It's such a dirty planet, you know, which makes sense, right? Because it is scorched. The ground is, you know, just hard, probably clay, dirt, you know, so on. And then any sort of stuff that's floating is all going to be dust and, you know, nothing that you would want to breathe in, because you probably would not survive even, you know, the harsh temperatures that are here on Venus would be even worse. I don't know which one would kill you faster. Probably the temperature, but, you know, it would still be bad. Regardless, it would still be bad. But this is Venus. So Venus is huge, and I have been able to travel for, 15 to 20 minutes maybe, and still have yet to hit any walls or barriers or anything like that. So it's really cool. They spent a lot of time. There's just a bunch of hills. There's nothing really to look at, which is why I'm just kind of doing a circle around my space shuttle. So that's just pretty much what you have. But that's why I was mentioning that, you know, it'd be really cool if you could add in bases and things like that. But that would include a lot of other stuff, because you can't You can't set markers on these worlds because it's outside of the bounds of the realism of GTA. So you can't set markers and use a trainer to go from one place to the other. You're pretty much just stuck with, just by sight, hoping you make it there. So they would have to include some sort of interface for that. But here I am still, on Venus, and we're going to go ahead and take off from here, and then we're going to be heading to Jupiter. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on my space shuttle real quick. Jump, man, jump! All right, so I'm going to go ahead and turn around. And then I'm going to go ahead and take off as soon as I get to... I know right behind me is a really flat area. This will actually work pretty well. I don't see any hills except to my left. So I'm going to get up speed right before I rotate, and then I will bring up my landing gear. All right, so I'm seeing a hill, and it should be at speed right about now. So rotate. Positive rate of climb. And landing gear up. Start heading out about 10, 15 degrees, I guess. If I can. 15 degrees. I can't even see the world. It's so foggy. I say foggy, but it's so dusty out. It's really hard to tell which way is up. And the space shuttle rocks back and forth. Now, we're going to be heading to Jupiter and then Saturn. And Jupiter's really cool. I'm excited to show you Jupiter. They have the storm that's been raging for millions and probably billions of years. And they did a really good job, I'm just going to say that much, of what I was expecting it to look like and what I kind of imagined it in my head being. So it's really cool. I'm excited. They have the red eye on there, and on the outside. You don't actually see it on the inside or anything like that. But all right, so I actually need to be heading around Venus here and then heading back because I'm going to go past Earth, headed the opposite direction. So that'll be pretty cool. Anyway, so the only other thing that I was going to mention is you are not able to actually land on Jupiter or Saturn. They have not textured in Earth, or I say Earth, but ground. They have not textured in ground on either place. On Saturn, there's somewhat of a ground, but there are no textures that are on it. So you can technically land. I'm not sure you can take off again because the ground is kind of, I don't know if I just landed on a hill, but on Jupiter, you actually hit water. So you'll be flying in and your nose is pointing downward, and all of a sudden you're sinking in water. So that's something that you have to kind of deal with. But again, this is going to be a very long trip. I know it takes about 5-10 minutes to get from one place to the other. I haven't actually clocked it, but I would assume it's something like that. So I will see you guys on Jupiter. All right, welcome back, guys. We've got Jupiter straight in front of us. So we will be coming into the atmosphere of Jupiter here shortly. I was going to mention, go ahead and go into this view. You can see the storm there that has been, raging for a very, very long time. And it's really cool. I mean, it really is how they added that in there. And you can pretty much guess on what the planet's going to look like when we actually get into the atmosphere. But maybe you can't. Who knows? We shall see shortly. All right, so we are coming into the atmosphere. And here we are. It seems to be really windy. I'm going to go ahead and lift up my landing gear. It automatically puts it down. And we can't land here, so I'm just going to kind of leave it. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and do an outside view so you can kind of see just the world around us. This is Jupiter, like I mentioned already. So, they really, just the storm going on is incredible. Like, ridiculously incredible. So we are, just flying around. We're just going to do a couple of circles around so you guys can see it. I'm going to kind of go a little bit lower, and then, you guys will be able to see kind of what I see, whenever we play. If you've got the mod, then that's great. It's really a great one to have. It kind of sets a different tone, because GTA is all about killing and blowing stuff up and as much stuff as you possibly can, and spending money and getting all these things that you would love to have in real life, but not everybody can. So, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, this is kind of a different change of pace. Yeah, you're out here by yourself, but you're able to go to different planets and, you know, do other things. There are a lot of planets. I don't think all of them are on here. Poor Pluto. Yeah, I know it's a dwarf, not an actual planet anymore, but it will always be a planet to me, my personal opinion. But I digress. So whenever it comes to Jupiter, on the other hand, they did such an incredible job just looking around. If we get a little bit lower, I'm just really worried about hitting water. It's not something I want to do. However, if you go down here to the lower side of where these clouds and stuff are, you will start to see lightning and stuff underneath, which is like even better because it's like a storm on top of a storm. So it's really cool. You can see lightning going off everywhere. It's just really awesome. They did an absolutely excellent job. You know, I know the ground right there kind of looks like it is land, and it's not. I assure you it is not. I have crashed multiple times on here, and it's not any fun. So I have tried numerous times. Now, if you found land, you know, please leave it in the comments. However, unfortunately, it's not like you can give me longitude and latitude on when, you know, at all, when you were, where you were at when it happened. So I will just have to take your word for it, and I trust you, so don't lie to me. But yeah, excellent job on the textures here. Maybe someday we'll have somewhere we can land. But right now we can just kind of come in and see Jupiter for what it is, which is a very, very stormy place, and really cool. Really cool. At the end of the day, it's still really awesome. So from here, since we've kind of gone around a few times, you guys can see Jupiter and what it looks like. I'm going to go ahead and head back up because we still have one more planet to view and to visit before we actually head back to Earth. And so it is what it is. And again, you know, on Jupiter, if you go down low enough, you end up hitting water. On Saturn, you kind of hit a... It's kind of hard to explain because it's like there's ground there, but you aren't actually... It's not textured, so you can't actually see it. So you'd be on a hill like this, but you are not able to actually move on that hill. And you can just look down and it just looks like, you know, the color of the rest of the world. So it's interesting, to say the least. It is interesting. So, you know, and I don't want to give it away. I'm not going to tell you guys what Saturn looks like so you guys will be able to see it, you know, for the first time when we actually get there without me telling you and spoiling the surprise. But, whoa, that sounded close. But you know, it's really cool. It's really cool. It's different than Jupiter, but it does have some of the same characteristics, I guess I should say. It takes forever to get out of the atmosphere and back into space. It really does. Luckily, I've got enough fuel. I wish we had an altimeter as well. That would be great. That would be fantastic, but we don't. So you can't ever tell where you are in relation to the planet that you're on and how hard the ground is. So we, you know, like whenever you're landing on Venus, the clouds kind of part, but once they part, I mean, you better be pulling up, and you don't really know when they're going to happen. So you just kind of have to roll with it and pull up right when you're supposed to, so you don't crash into the planet. Because if you do, you will blow up. You will blow up. My goodness, am I ever going to get out of here? Start doing a little dolphin diving here. Maybe? Come on. Let me out. Jupiter won't let me go. It will not let me. I mean, I'm way up here, too. How about now? No? I don't think it's going to happen, guys. I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't think I've ever had this much trouble getting out of the atmosphere. My goodness. It It is really cool though, like looking backward and seeing, you know, just like the lightning streak across the sky. And I wish I would have gone a little bit lower so you guys could see it, but I've hit water so many times I'm worried about it. But if you can really see the lightning kind of streaking across the sky, it's really cool. So if you guys end up wanting to see that, let me know, put it in the comments, and I will make sure to do that in the next video. But, you know, right now you can just kind of enjoy it for what it is. Oh my gosh! How do I get out of Jupiter? Oh my gosh! Let me out! Jupiter! I want to go! I mean, here I am. I'm sitting at 15 degrees, almost 20, trying to get out of Jupiter, and it will not let me out. Come on. You know you want it. Let me out. Because I'll stall out, unfortunately, if I go too high like that. Stalling. Which is frustrating enough. Come on, let me out. Let me out. It's ridiculous. Finally able to get out of Jupiter. I don't know what in the world was going on with that. But Jupiter is to my right back here. And then you also have Europa, which is like the 6th largest moon or something like that. And it is one of Jupiter's moons. And so right now we're going to go ahead and head to Saturn. It is, just like the rest of them, a very long trip. So I will see you guys as we get close. All right. So we actually are coming up on Saturn right now. You have Uranus over there to the right, and then you also have Kepler 5.3b over here to the right as well, which is awfully close to Saturn for my personal feelings on the subject. But you do have the rings. They did include the rings around Saturn. Now, it's not like rock and ice like it's supposed to be, because that would be a lot to deal with. So what they did was added, it looks kind of like clouds, like kind of a dust, like really smashed together dust and rings around. So you kind of go through them like you do the clouds in GTA, and you can just kind of like bounce up and down, and you'll just see the clouds kind of go up and down with you. So still really cool they even included them. Again, it shows how much time and effort the developers of this modification, how much time they did spend on all of this. So, you know, really cool. And Saturn is a very, very pretty planet. And we are going to be not landing on Saturn. We're going to be getting a little bit lower this time than we did on Jupiter, because I'm not as worried on Saturn as I was on Jupiter. And I'm going to save some of the other episodes for other planets. So, you know, maybe the next one will go to Uranus, and then others, you know, that are out there as well. I don't really know all of them. I have not explored all of them. The main ones I've visited was, you know, Jupiter, Saturn, Mars, Venus, and a couple of the moons. But I have not been to Kepler. I have not been to, you know, Uranus, or any of the others that I didn't mention. So right now we're coming up on the rings, which you'll kind of see what I was talking about. Like right here. Kind of makes it look weird. But yeah, so it's like a lot like this, how you would, you know, see it in GTA coming through the clouds and stuff like that. So, you know, it is what it is. I mean, again, it's still really awesome to see. So I'm glad they did that. Glad they did it. All right, so we are coming into the atmosphere of Saturn. And so you can see what I was talking about. It's a lot different. There are still like storms going on, but it's a little bit more vibrant in my personal opinion, which I really like. I really like the fact that it is vibrant and not so plain and dull. You know, you have a storm going through, but it's like, hey, there's also flowers and other things. You know what I mean? Obviously not, but you know, it's the way I think of things. And I don't know what this big circle is here. I have tried to go over there, and I think that is part of that texture I was talking about when I landed. So I'm going to get a little bit lower so you guys can really see a lot of the stuff that goes on. But, I mean, just looking around, I mean, look how amazing it is to be here. And again, once we get to the point where people are making like mods and stuff for bases and you know, being able to have different vehicles that you can bring up into space besides just the ones that that are in the pack, being able to actually play around with some of those and maybe even grow crops and things like that. Kind of like it's like Kerbal Space Program, just with a lot better graphics. So it's gonna be cool. Gonna be awesome. Just look at this, like especially over there. It's just like what I would imagine on Earth when we have like a really bad storm, and you just kind of see. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn the space shuttle around that way. But yeah, so like right here where it's just like the storm raging, and then right when the storm's ending, you can start seeing the sun come through, and you know, all is well in the world again. So really cool. Really cool. They did such a good job, and you know, Saturn, they just did a really good job. That's all I gotta say. You know, that right there, like straight in front of me, it looks like land. It's not. Just so you guys are aware. You are flying, and all of a sudden you'll just be on the Earth, or I say on the Earth, on the ground. You'll just be there, and you'll end up crashing. You won't be able to fly your space shuttle again, and then you'll have to respawn, and you'll respawn somewhere, you know, just kind of falling, and then you have to use your trainer and get creative with how you're going to get out. So, see what I was talking about? If you look down here, just to the right, and probably to the left here in a second as well, you'll start seeing some lightning going on underneath, right there, like that. Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. I would not want to live here. That's for darn sure. I'm not a huge fan of storms. Much less one that's lasting millions of years. Forget it. It's like my nightmare. And what's worse, I live in Arkansas. We have a lot of storms. And speaking of storms, everybody who is in Florida and Texas, you know, I feel really bad for you guys. I really do. We get tornadoes and stuff all the time. And it's not fun. So I kind of understand what you're going through. Obviously, a hurricane is way worse. But, you know, best of luck to every single one of you guys. And if there's anything I can do, or if you guys have a story to tell, make sure to put it in the comments. I'm wanting to hear, you know, things that you guys have to say. It's amazing how many people become heroes during these times, because, you know, things happen. I mean, it's anywhere you go in the world. I've mentioned this in other videos. Anywhere you go in the world, there's always going to be something wrong that's going to cause something to happen. Natural disasters, you know, happen all the time. And it's when people start stepping forward and helping and saving lives and doing things that, when you hear the news and you know, talking about all of this bad stuff, bombings going off here, things going on there, and it just seems so bad. And then you have all of these heroes that are stepping up, and these people could be salesmen, they could be homeless, they could be anybody, and they're stepping in the shoes of a hero and helping out with people. And that's incredible to me. So, you know, all of you guys that are stepping up and being that way, you know, bless you. I mean, at the bottom of my heart, you guys are amazing. And I know after Hurricane Gustav and Katrina, you know, before I got married and stuff, I used to go down on the weekends and do volunteer work. And, you know, you'll see how humbling it is for people. So, yeah, I'm not trying to turn this episode into a sob fest, believe me. But I just wanted to let you guys know that, you know, my heart is with you guys and everybody that's going through all of that you guys are having to go through at this time. So anyway, back to Saturn for a little bit. Get off of the real world issues, but yeah, they did such an excellent job. I'm so excited to look at some of the other planets that they have in this pack and see if they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna add more. I know that this is still in its early stages in a way, as far as how far it can actually go. I know they turned it over to the modding community to be able to do what they want and add what they want and things like that. So it's going to be awesome to see where it ends up. It is going to be awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and tilt my nose up a little bit more. Tilt my nose up a little bit more and try to hopefully get out of the atmosphere. I'm hoping it's not going to be as difficult as getting out of Jupiter. That was obnoxious for sure. All right, so I am leaving Saturn. It is right behind me right there, and we are heading back to Earth. Now Jupiter, I'll be able to actually see Earth, and see here's Mars, and so I should be able to see Earth now. Actually, I don't think so. I kind of zoomed into Jupiter, but it should be kind of towards Mars area. So I'm going to keep heading that direction, and then we'll land at Zancudo. All right, so I am back on Earth, about to land on Zancudo. I did decide to come in from a different angle because I got kind of tired of landing on the other side. So decided to do something a little different and land on this side. So I've got my landing gear down. Yeah, landing gear down. We'll be coming up over the top of the markers here. I need to make sure I'm high enough because this space shuttle is actually a lot lower than you expect it to be, and I don't want to take out my landing gear. Yeah, there we go. Reverse thrust and head this direction and getting off here. Oh boy. This thing is such a beast to turn. It really is. It really is. Man. I'm also worried about the wings. Because it doesn't turn very sharp, which is weird because it only has the one. You know, it's like a regular airplane, right? So you have the one wheel in the front. So you'd think it'd be able to turn on a dime, but it can't. It would be kind of cool if you had the whole, when you landed on the runway, you had the big aired up slide that comes out and you slide out. That'd be cool. I think I'm breaking the speed limit through here. I don't care, I'm in a space shuttle. It's got to be fast. I definitely don't want to take off again though, so I better slow it down. So I'm going to go ahead and park it in here if I can. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to actually do it though. How close is that pole? I think it's really close. So I'm going to go ahead and back it up. Just hopefully I'm in a good little area. Yeah, I got this. All day long. Here we go. I probably can't go back much further. Perfect. Perfect. Kind of gets out at a weird angle. He like comes out of the side of the door and then falls down. But hey, it is what it is. I do hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed the planets. Like I said, if you guys want to, it's out there on GTA 5 mods, to where you can download, this particular mod, and it's not hard at all to get it going. It is an OpenIV format, so you can just run it, and it's kind of like an executable file. So it's really easy to do. I absolutely love it. It's really cool to kind of go out of the norm of GTA. So feel free to go out there and download it. Other than that, if you guys like the video, please hit a like button. If you guys want to continue to get updates, please hit the subscribe button. And as always, I do hope you guys continue to have a wonderful rest of the week. All of you guys that are going to be impacted by the storm, bless you guys. I hope for the best, and I hope you guys continue to help each other out and do all those amazing things. So other than that, I will see you guys next episode.